Hello everybody, welcome in. I am Stephanie with my with Charm Southern Home. Let's see if I can prop it up just a little bit. Okay, try to prop it up a little bit. All right, so I hope everybody is having a wonderful day today. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting some of my paints out. And let's see, what else do we need? So I'm going to do a little paint project today. Somehow last night I lost my bow maker between last night and this morning. So I'm not sure where that is at, but we'll make it work anyway. So hello, welcome in. So I am Stephanie with Charm Southern Home, and we're going to be doing this frame, this picture frame that I got. I'm going to be repainting it and putting a gnome, a fall gnome on here. So I hope you guys will enjoy my project. And I have one that I've already made. I can show you what it will look like. Let me get some of my stuff squirted out here, and I'm gonna need a little bit of white. So I'm gonna use some whites from the Deco Art, and then espresso or just any dark brown. It doesn't have to be these specific ones. And then I just use kind of a light gray. And then for my orange in the fall, I really like the burnt orange from Deco Art. I like it. It's really pretty. So I think that's it. Oh, and then for my tag that I'm going to be making, so I want it to look older, I'm going to use this wax from Folk Art. This one is, what is that called? Antique wax is the color of it. It's just a kind of a dark brown. So let me show you how to do that real quick before I start with the other, because it needs to dry just a little bit. So welcome in. Hello, Miss Tracy. All right, so I'm going to make my little tag look older. And this is just like, I got these for like office supply. This one came from Staples. So you can also get them on Amazon or just about anywhere. So I'm going to take my little scruffy brush here that's kind of wore out. And I'm going to use a little bit of this wax. And I just kind of dab it on and then kind of blot it off a little bit. And then I'm just going to take it, let me make sure you guys can see. And then I just kind of swirl it around on the white part, on the paper part. And I do it on both sides. That way, if the tag is flipped around or something, it's still going to look aged on both sides. So here's before and here's the after. So let me put a little bit more on here, and then we'll let that dry while we work on some other stuff, and then we'll go back and put our word on there. So there it is. Pretty easy. Makes it look a lot different. Good morning, Jennifer. Welcome into my page and Craft Around the Clock. So let me know, did you find me through my page or did you find me through Craft Around the Clock? I'm always curious where everybody comes from. All right, and then at some point hopefully I'll find my bow maker. If not, we'll just wing it and put something together here. So there's our tag. Let me show you the one I did before. This is kind of what it's gonna look like. It'll probably look a little different. I drew the hat a little different on this one, so hopefully that won't fall down. But that's what we're going to be working on from Craft Around the Clock. Hello, Tanja. Welcome, everybody, if I've missed anybody. All right, so that's what we're going to be working on. And, oh, forgot my flesh tone for his nose. So let me squirt just a little bit of that out there. All right. So let me see. I'm just going to use, I like these brushes. These are Master's Touch from Hobby Lobby. They've redone their brush section though. I'm not sure what they have anymore. So I always do the nose first. I just kind of drew it out with chalk just to give myself kind of an idea. So that way I would have it sort of somewhat centered up. That's the plan anyway. So we get his nose on there, and it's going to need another coat for sure. So there's his nose. I'm going to go ahead and work on his leggings and his hat. So how's everybody doing today? We have, like, I'm in West Virginia. We have a rainy, cloudy day today, which is okay. Gotta have some rain sometimes. So, hello, Joy's Crazy for Crafts. Hello, Joy. Welcome in. I hope everybody's having a great day. I didn't post my link at the bottom. I forgot to put that up there. If you go to my page, up in the featured section, there's a link tree link, and if you click on that, it has all the places where you can follow me if you would like to. It's got my Pinterest and what else? YouTube channel, if you'd like to see some of my other crafts that I've done. I have several videos on there. What else? What else do we have? Pinterest, TikTok, oh gosh, I don't know. So different places. So if you'd like to follow me, that link is there in my featured section. If you go to my page, to my featured section, and it's right there. So I'm just going to put his legs on here. Hopefully I'll get this done in my amount of time. I always have to think, okay, how much time do I have? Because, all right. So, does anybody else out there do painting, or like what kind of crafts do you guys like to do? Do you make, do you do wreaths, or do you just like to watch? All right, so I've got that part in. It's gonna have to, I'm gonna have to use my little dryer here, because we're gonna need another coat, and ain't no way it's just gonna dry quick enough for me. So try to get that dry real quick. Thankfully it dries quick, so. Was he headed to the Outer Banks Beach? Oh. Well, that'll be nice. Hello, Marcy. Who else is on here? Hello, Victoria. Thanks for joining me, you guys. All right, so I'm going to put another coat on here, and hopefully that will be enough for him. I may have to use some of my white chalk paint to get it to cover better. I like the white chalk paint because it seems it covers a lot faster and easier for me when I'm having to do things with the white. So I was torn today. It was between this and a frog, a door hanger frog, and I ended up doing this one. So, but I had a real cute frog I was thinking about painting. All right, so there's his hat, there's his leggings, and now I'm going to take a little dip of on the corner of my brush and do a little bit of shading here on his leggings or his pants or whatever. So, all right. Did you guys watch the Christmas specials that we had like last week? Hello, Stephanie. I am also Stephanie, and I'm also in West Virginia. So welcome. Hello, Pam. Maxine is in Oregon. Wow. In Missouri. Do all kinds of crafts. and painting. Goodness. I do a little bit of everything. I like to do, well, I've been doing painting for a couple of years now. I'm still learning. But I take online painting classes from Terry Burton, so I've learned a lot. I still got lots to learn. Alright, so there's a little bit of shading there on him. I'm going to also go back and put a little bit of white on the opposite side, kind of give him a little bit of highlights. So hopefully you guys can see this. I'm not used to painting sideways. So there's that. I'm going to put a little bit of highlight down here on his leg. So there's that, and let's see. I'm going to take a little bit, since I already got this white on my brush, I'm going to take a little bit and then just kind of go in through here on his hat and just kind of, I don't know if y'all can see that, but just kind of giving some little bit of highlights there on his hat, and I'm going to put a little bit, I think, on his legs too. If you get too much, you can always go back and go over it a little bit. Just paint, right? You can just paint over it if you don't like it. So, alright, let me get, I need to put a little bit more on his nose, but I may need to put a little bit of white on his nose because he's not coming through like I want. So let's go over his nose again, and we'll just dry it a little bit so we can get onto the better stuff. Let's see. I got a football there for him. I have to do his beard first. So get that all dry. Hello, baby. One of my dogs. She likes heat. She likes the dryer. Hi. This is Hildy. You can say hello. She likes anything that's got a heat coming out of it. She loves it. She comes up and wants you to blow it on her. She especially likes the heater in the bathroom. That's her favorite. Hello, Melody. Hello. All right. Get a little bit more on here. I think I got something on my brush. Okay. So get a little bit more. Try to get his nose evened out here. All right, let me dry his nose a little bit. Hello, Susan. Welcome in. We're making a fall picture. So if you like fall, if you like football, it's not really a team specific colors. It's just pretty much just a gnome in fall colors, just to represent fall. So here is how he is coming so far. Clean my brush out. Y'all see my messy paint tray? All right, let me see what else. I'm gonna see if I can get some of this chalk paint to come out of here. So, doesn't cooperate very well. Still don't see my bow maker. I had it last night, so that's really weird. I don't know what happened to it. It's here somewhere. I'll probably find it after we're done. All right, let me see. Oh, I need to put a little bit in on his boots. Let's see. I didn't put my gray out. So I'm going to put gray for his shoes. So I got just a little bit of this. It's like a light gray. It's called Gray Sky. And see, you got his little shoes down there. So I'm just going to kind of trace over where I had drawn my chalk line and just fill it in. So, all right. I can't believe it's already Thursday. The week has just flown by. All right. Gotta concentrate. There's his shoes. I'm gonna let those dry a little bit. In the meantime, I think I will work on his beard a little bit. I think I can shade his nose now though. So sometimes I like to just do like the wet shading. So I'm dipping back into the flesh tone color that I used for his nose, and then a little bit of brown on the corner of my brush, and just go around. Sometimes I have trouble doing the just the other way, so just do a little bit like this. Get his nose in there, and then I'm gonna put a little bit up at the top. I can't see. All right, so there's his nose. He's coming together. It's 12:30. We're doing okay. I still got to make his bow. So, let me see. Let me find my brush. All right. So, I don't know how everybody else does their beards. I know there's different ways. You could use a brush like this, a round brush. Some people use the. It's not really a. Some people use brushes like this. I don't know if y'all can see that. I got paint on my fingers. Some people will use this type of brushes to do their gnome beards with. I use this. It's an angled brush. To me, it's just, for me, that's easier. That's just how I like to do it. So I'm going to use some of the chalk paint. I don't know which one it is though, because I squirted them out beside of each other. So one of these is chalk paint, one isn't. So I'm going to let his boots dry down there for a little bit. I'm going to give him a little pom-pom on top of his hat too. So I just kind of go like that. And I have my pointy angle down, and then I just kind of pull out like that. And I do the same thing with the beard. And you just gotta kind of do like little sections. Get it how you want it to look. And then I'll go back after I get this in, and I'll put the football in there. And you could make these, you could do your favorite team colors or anything like that if you wanted to. So I'm going to hold him upside down here for y'all for a second so I can make sure I get his beard in the right spot. So you just do a little bit at a time. And then I'll go back and probably put some other colors in here. Put a little bit of black or gray. But that's how I start the beard out. Go ahead and get it on there, let it dry a little bit. I need to go back and shade on his boots a little bit. And I need to do on his leggings. My other one that I did like kind of a plaid. But I did kind of like a little plaid thing on his. I might, let me just lay that right there. I might, maybe I could just give him some little polka dots or something, so he's got something different. So, gotta be careful though on the beard. Sometimes you can get carried away and it just grows and grows. I'm going to put a little bit of gray on my brush, and I'm not going to clean it off or anything. I'm just going to put a little bit of gray on there. Hide some of that black part, because I want some black part to show, but I don't want like a ton. And I also want to hide the top of his leggings. Don't want to see that. So there's our little guy. I'm going to put a little bit more over here on the side. Try to make him symmetrical. So, all right. Wish I could paint. I forget which crafter is on here that paints and she can paint upside down. I can't do that. I haven't gotten that great at I'm doing well to do the right side up, so I'll put a little bit of gray up there in his pom-pom, and we'll let that dry a little bit. All right, there's his little pom-pom, and so I'm going to give him some polka dots. Let me clean my brush out. And depending on how big a polka dot you want, I have a couple different ways I do it. It just depends on what kind of dot I'm wanting. I use the end of my brush handle sometimes. Sometimes I'll use this little, my mind went blank what this is. But anyway, this is from Dollar Tree. And it's got two different sizes on the ends of it. So I'm going to just take the bigger one because I don't want real big dots. But I'm going to do the bigger end of this and just dip it in my white paint. And then we're just going to give him some polka dots on his leggings or his pants, whatever they are. And we have a fly in here, so that's great. All right, so there is his leggings. I've gotten something probably off of my hand on there, but that's okay. I just touched that back up with some black, which I didn't get out. Yeah, and I like painting on a black background because that way if you need to touch something up around the edges, it's easy to go back and just add a little black and hide whatever it is that you did. So I got a little scuff there on my frame, but I have already used the black, so get that back off of there. There it is. Okay. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit more gray on his boots. Y'all can see, I'm trying to make sure I'm holding it where you guys can see. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of shading on his boots too. I'm just gonna use black for that. Let's see, and do the bottom of them. All right, there's these little boots. And then I'm going to put a little bit of white on the other side. Get a little bit more on there. So give them a little highlight on the other side. If I can get it to show up like I want. All right. Almost got the top of it highlighted here. And then I'm going to put a little bit on his toes. I need to go back and fix my black. I kind of bumped my black and messed that up a little bit. So clean that off. That'll be good. So I need some gray, tiny bit of black. Touch up my shoe down here. That might have been too much, but we'll go with it. All right, there it is. Gosh, it sounds like I think it's raining again. Thank you, Pam. All right. Not sure what that is. All right, so I'm gonna go back and put a little bit of, let's see, I'll do a little bit more on his beard. And some of that gray that I had put in there, I want to kind of cover some of that up. And I think he'll be okay. All right, so there he is. He's coming together. And it's 12:41, so we're doing okay. All right. I think I'm gonna put a little bit more around where his hat or where his nose is at, because I want the black there, but I don't want so much of it. That's better. Okay. I like that black there. It makes him have that like that shading underneath his nose. Hello, Amy. Hope you guys are enjoying all the crafting today. Maybe do some of your own crafting. I'll work on that later. Let's see. And then I'm gonna take this round brush, wet it a little bit, and I'm gonna put just some little lines on his brim of his hat. You can see this. Just going to give him a little bit like he's, you know, like it's like a knit material. So there's that. Hildy. My dog is in the bathroom taking the towel off the rack. I heard it squeak. I know what she's doing. She thinks she's being sneaky. I don't know why she does that. She goes and she likes to get towels, wet towels. She takes them off to another room and lays them down, and she doesn't do anything with them. So I'm not sure why she does that, but anyway, I hear her in there trying to do it. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of shading over on his hat. Y'all can see. I wanted a little bit of white. I got too much. Now I can't get it right. Let's see. So just want him to have like a little bit of highlight on there. Put a little bit down here. All right. So he's coming together. His hat looks weird there at the top where it's got that wet spot on there. But I hope you guys will follow my page if you don't already. If any of you on here on your business pages, I'll try to go back afterwards and follow you if I see that you're on here on your business page. All right, let me see. What is it that I needed to do? Oh, his shoes. So this one, I'm going to take the small end of this, and I'm going to give him some little holes for his shoelaces. Teeny tiny little dots. Wish those were a little bit bigger. Go back over them. All right, so there is his little dots for his shoelaces. So I'll have to let that dry before I can put it on there. And then I'm gonna take, nope, I'm gonna take this one. A little bit bigger round brush. And I'm just gonna go around the edges a little bit and kind of put just some little swirls and stuff just to kind of give it some, a little bit of extra. And so just a little something there around him. You could take if you have a stencil. I don't have a lot of stencils. I have a few stencils, but you could always take a stencil and what's wrong with my hair? You could always take a stencil and put some words, or if you're good at lettering, you could put some words around the outside of the frame, or something like that if you wanted to. I think I'm going to take a little bit more and just do a little bit on my hat with my round brush, since I just want like a few little sprigs. All right, so he is coming together. So I'm going to work on my bow. So I'm going to also take my tag, because that's part of going to be going onto the bow. And then I'll just take a Sharpie and I'm going to put the word fall on here. Nothing crazy, just print letters, and I kind of angle them a little bit. So that's all I did with that. Give that a second to dry. And I'm going to need a pen. I bought these off of Amazon, these little safety pins. It's got 500 in it. Hi, Cynthia. Thank you for joining. All right. So I'm just going to need one of those to pin onto the bow. I don't know where my bow maker is. I still don't see it anywhere. So I'm going to set this off to the side just a little bit. So we're just going to have to make our bow on our own. So, here's my scissors. So I don't want this little wrinkled part on here. I'm going to cut that off. So honestly, this is how I measure for my bow. I just hold my fingers apart and cut there. Let's see, this one's got a bad spot on it right there. So we'll get rid of that. All right. So is anybody, oh, you're fine, Cynthia. You can always catch the replay at the beginning if you need to. So thank you guys so much for watching. Okay, I think that one will be okay. I'll do that one. I just picked some random fabrics. I think most of these came from Hobby Lobby. I love this orange check one. I use it a lot. These are in like the homespun section. I think this one, I forget what this one's called. But it's kind of got like that aged look to it anyway, and it's got like little specks of brown in it. I forget what it's called, but anyway, I like to shop the remnant section when I go in there. That's the first place I look at usually. So let me put that one in there too. Cute plaid one. Just kind of mix them up, and we'll put another solid one for my back piece. All right, so we're going to do this without, let me see, where's my other one at? So I'm going to put, I'll see this. I'm just going to lay them and I'm going to pretend my bow maker is here. So I'm just going to lay these every kind of which way. Let's see, do that one. do another solid, a white, another check one. So if you don't have a bow maker, it's okay, you can still do these. I'm just going to pretend like it is here. It will be okay. Let's see. All right, then I'm going to take a little bit of Excelsior and put that in the front of it. Hello, Janice. All right, so just need a little piece, and this is from Hobby Lobby too. It's over in the section with the Spanish moss, where the grapevines are at. So I'm going to lay that in there. I think we're done with that one. I'm just going to kind of try to pinch this up. Wrap my jute around it and pull it kind of snug. Okay, then I'm going to tighten a knot. Hi, Pamela. All right. I hope you're enjoying my craft, and if you'd like to give my page a follow, I'd really appreciate it. If you're on my page and you haven't been to Craft Around the Clock, I've got the link for that group posted also. I might trim some of that off, but here is our bow. I'm going to trim some of that Excelsior off. It's a little bit longer than I like. Just a little bit of it. But fine. Check out Craft Around the Clock. They have, if you don't watch regularly, they have crafters every day. Pretty much every day there's somebody in there doing something. And I have my hot glue gun on, I think. Yes, I think it's on. So then I'm going to take my little safety pin and put it through my ring here, and then I'm going to just hook it. And yesterday I had the worst time getting this to work for me. I was going to put it through my jute or my fabric or whatever I can get it to hook onto. It's going to give me a hard time like it did yesterday. But anyway, so just want it to kind of grab on just a little bit. There we go. I got it. All right, so here is our bow. It says fall. And I'm going to pull, let's see. I'm going to take my jute around to the other side again and tie it. Because I kind of like that look where it shows. Have that little bit of rustic. Oh, I undid my safety pin. Ah. Okay. So get that. Get my tag out of the way. All right, and then I'm going to leave these with some tails here in the front, and I'm just going to trim them off, make them even. All right, so there's our bow, and I'm going to have to spray this with clear sealer. I just use an indoor-outdoor sealer, and I need to put my laces on. Let me see. I want something, maybe this one. This is the scary part, getting the laces right, because if you mess that up, you mess up the whole shoe. All right, so I'm just going to take down to where my little holes are for my laces, and I'm about to forget. Okay, so I need to make the little crisscross. Crisscross. Okay, so I got the little crisscrosses. Now I'm gonna make the bow. I started the bow and then I forgot that I had to put those on there. how did I get, okay, I got white paint, so let me try to get that. All right, so let me get my black, fix my crisscross back. And give him a little tail. All right, so there's the little shoes. Oh, you know what? I forgot the football. After all of that, I forgot his football. All right, so I'm gonna take my chalk paint and I'm gonna go back in and just put his football in there. I'm using my dark brown. Can't believe I forgot the football. That was the main part of it. All right. All right, we're getting it now. I've got 4 minutes. We're mostly done, just about, so I mainly just have to glue the bow on here. So let me get his ball. And all right. Oh, I'll be selling live this weekend over on Virtual Home Decor Marketplace. If you'd like to come over there and check us out, we have buy it now things going on every day. And then this weekend we have live sales. Sorry. Tomorrow we have an auction going on, and some of the things behind me here, that and that and that, those are going to be in the auction tomorrow. So my scarecrow there, and then my pumpkin coffee pot on the other side, those are going to be in the auction. So if you like that kind of things, come check us out. We have all kinds of things that'll be in the auction tomorrow. Lots of handmade items. So I hope you guys can come check us out. I'm just putting a little bit of highlights here on the ball. And then I just got to go back and put the little strings, the little white strings that go on there. So let that dry. Put my little stripes. Get that over there. All right, I'll touch that up a little bit here in a minute. So I can't believe it's gone so fast. Hello, Sassy Fresh Creations. All right, then I'm gonna take this one, I think. I just put a little bit of white and then go down the middle of the ball and put those little threads on there. There he is. He's cute. I'm gonna put a little highlight on his nose too. Hadn't done that. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm gonna spray this with sealer before I glue my bow on. But I'll hold it up here so you guys can see what we did today. So there's our cute little, fall gnome with his football. This is a cute little decoration for fall, and like I said, if you did something like this, you could always put your team colors or whatever on there if you wanted to. So, but he's just kind of a generic fall gnome with his football. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hello, Liz. Thanks for joining me. I'm great. All right, so be sure to refresh your screen on Crafter on the Clock for the next crafter. I'd appreciate it if you'd like to follow me, if you'd like to sprinkle me out to your friends. I would really appreciate it. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you, I think, next week again. Bye, everybody.